information necessary so that you can put the nutrients in your body that's going to allow your body to heal itself. Once you get your physical health in check, now it's time to move up a tier and get high with Daweed. Getting high with Daweed is basically a physical and mental, spiritual portion of the course. This is where you're going to receive my creation series, where you are able to create anything that you want in your environment, your space, or your reality whenever you want to. This is such a powerful course. I was actually watching it heal relationships, and I've seen people actually physically heal their bodies. Before I was doing the physical health class, they were physically healing their bodies with their mind. And so it's an extremely powerful course. It's an extremely powerful portion and tier of the course as well. And you get everything in tier 1, which is the physical health class, plus you get the Getting High with Daweed creation series, okay, as well. You're also going to get my daily meditation videos here, which are very important to watch, right? You can actually physically heal yourself with just body meditation, okay? So you're going to get my spiritual meditation, my physical meditation, and my mind meditation videos inside of this tier. Now, once you do that, or even before that, if you have a serious chronic problem, or you're not able to understand and be able to physically heal yourself just by watching my videos, then you can walk with Daweed. And walking with Daweed is very important. This is for the serious only. And I put together a tailored health system just for you. You have access to me where you can call me, you can email me, you can talk to me, and I will, or Zoom with me face to face, therefore that I will be able to help you and walk you through your physical ailment, mental ailment, or spiritual ailment, and walk you through that process. This is extremely powerful because it's not just about feeling better, it's about feeling normal again like you did when you were a child. No matter which tier you choose to start with, I'm looking forward to working with you. Peace. Welcome to my Patreon, where you might have come here from my YouTube or my Eventbrite where the videos expire within 30 days. Now you have access to my exclusive content forever once you join one of the tiers of my Patreon, okay? So we have the live stream health class, right, which you're going to get, but you're also going to get my on-demand health class. Remember, the health class is really 28 hours, but you in my live health class were able to receive 8 hours. 4 hours in session 1, 4 hours in the following session. You're also going to be able to get my ebook as well. So you can download my ebook, as well as those that saw me in person, you got a physical copy. You might have got it autographed, you might not. But however, you have a physical copy of my book as well. You got the live question and answers during my health class as well, and then the live chat during events. This whole health class portion is designed to give you the information necessary so that you can put the nutrients in your body that's going to allow your body to heal itself. Once you get your physical health in check, now it's time to move up a tier and get high with Daweed. Getting high with Daweed is basically a physical and mental, spiritual portion of the course. This is where you're going to receive my creation series, where you are able to create anything that you want in your environment, your space, or your reality whenever you want to. This is such a powerful course. I was actually watching it heal relationships, and I've seen people actually physically heal their bodies. Before I was doing the physical health class, they were physically healing their bodies with their mind. And so it's an extremely powerful course. It's an extremely powerful portion and tier of the course as well. And you get everything in tier 1, which is the physical health class, plus you get the Getting High with Daweed creation series, okay, as well. You're also going to get my daily meditation videos here, which are very important to watch, right? You can actually physically heal yourself with just body meditation. Okay, so you're going to get my spiritual meditation, my physical meditation, and my mind meditation videos inside of this tier. Now, once you do that, or even before that, if you have a serious chronic problem, or you're not able to understand and be able to physically heal yourself yourself just by watching my videos, then you can walk with Dawid. And walking with Dawid is very important. This is for the serious only. And I put together a tailored health system just for you. You have access to me where you can call me, you can email me, you can talk to me, and I will, or Zoom with me face to face, therefore that I will be able to help you and walk you through your physical ailment, mental ailment, or spiritual ailment, and walk you through that process. This is extremely powerful because it's not just about feeling better, it's about feeling normal again like you did when you were a child. No matter which tier you choose to start with, I'm looking forward to working with you. Peace. Welcome to my Patreon, where you might have come here from my YouTube or my Eventbrite where the videos expire. All right, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to our beautiful class today. We're looking forward to seeing you all. Hold 1 second. I don't know why my camera is not on, but it is not on. You should be able to hear me, but I don't know if you can see me or not. So I'm basically going to go here for a minute just to get till I get my browser or my camera up and running. There we go. You should at least can be able to see that. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure why my camera is not showing up. Unless I unplugged it because, yep, I did. Nope, it's plugged in. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but if not, we will do it without the camera. Trust you me, that is a reality that can be if we can't get camera. Let me see what's going on here. Showing up. Let me activate, see if this works. I don't know why my camera's not working, but give me a quick second. We've been having issues with camera. Sweet. That is crazy. And again, it's doing that slow poke thing with the camera. Oh, I know what the issue is. Hold 1 second for me. I got to do this. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. Because we are going to jump into the class. Don't worry about it, no matter what. But I know it's, I think I got to do this. I got to do it every day for class. And I didn't do it today. Okay, you can hear me. Great. What's up, Senart? Good to see you as always. Good. Now let's see if this thing will act right. Can you still hear me? I want to make sure everything's still 100. Okay, great. All right, guys. Well, you might not be able to see me today, but you are going to be able to hear me at least. Let's pray that, yeah, it's not going to let me press no buttons. So we're going to have to go straight through this. I know what the problem was, but I have to do it every time before a meeting. That is crazy. This thing is crazy. They've updated all these security programs. I had a guy call in even that was having a problem with a website due to the not my website but another website, one of my clients' websites due to this same issue. Same issue. They're making them so stringent now. It's causing a major problem. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So again, welcome to the class. So happy that you're here. Sorry you're not gonna be able to see me tonight. It doesn't look like. But you're going to be able to get the information, you're going to be able to read the screen, and you're going to be able to get all the information necessary in order for you to be able to process what we're talking about today. So, again, we're talking about vaccines in the food. I've already done part 1 and part 2. This is part 3. People should be jumping to this. I don't know where people are at or what they're thinking about and not watching these. Or prayerfully you're coming in later to watch it. If you have any questions, please make sure that you do put those questions in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe. so that you are able to subscribe to our channel. Visit our Patreon, patreon.com/health class as well. And also make sure that you do the that you subscribe. I mean, join one of our tiers, health class tier, getting high with Dawid tier, or walk with Dawid tier. And we're going to jump straight into this tonight. So what we're going to talk about, what we've been talking about again, is vaccines in the food. They're calling them edible vaccines. And this, again, like I said, is not coming from an unaccredited source. This is actually coming from the National Library of Medicine, and PubMed is basically sponsoring this. So I'm letting you know, like, this is an accredited document that we're reading here, okay? So this isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't any of those things. This is the real documented program. Okay, like, I mean, this is documented, and this is real accredited information. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry about that. So, choice of host plant for edible vaccine, right? So we already dealt with the overview. We dealt with the historical background. Now we're going into what plants are they actually attacking or are they planning on attacking, or are they attacking at this time? Okay, so it says to date, which means up to the date that this was written, right? Many plant species have been used for vaccine production. The choice of the plant species is important. An edible, palatable plant is necessary if the vaccine is planted for raw consumption. Why? Because when they cook it, as we went over last week, when a person cooks it, the food, then it doesn't work like it's supposed to, or as well. It weakens it, just like any other thing that you cook. You're not going to get the nutrients out of it. You can't get the benefits because you cooked it. You've turned it into a carcinogenic compound. So they want you to eat the food raw in order to get the vaccine into your system properly, right? In case of vaccine for animal use, the plant should preferentially be selected among those consumed as normal component of the animal's diet. Some food vehicles are discussed below. Some. So this isn't all the food they're going to be vaccinating or are vaccinating, right? This is what this is some of it. Tobacco. And we went over last week, they've already been developing it through tobacco. That was the first this was the first product that they dealt with it through. So the concept of edible vaccine got impetus after artisans and co-workers expressed HBsAg in tobacco, right? This was the streptococcus, right? Which we definitely don't want streptococcus in our food, right? I know you don't want strep throat or anything that comes from that. The first edible vaccine was produced in tobacco in 1990, in which 0.2% of the recombinant protein is surfaced from streptococcus. And if you didn't see this part, I mean, though it wasn't here, they're rehashing it, right? We've already read that, so I'm not going to read that portion. So you can go back to part 2 to watch that. It appeared in the form of a patent application published under the International Patent Corporation Treaty. Transitic tobacco was successfully engineered. We dealt with that in there. So now, the optimum level of recombinant protein was obtained in leaves and seeds. Since acute watery diarrhea is caused by enterotoxic E. coli, right? Because if you saw last week's, you know that E. coli is also what they're going to be putting in things. Now you can wonder now you can see why why there were E. coli breakouts. Possibly. There's a great possibility that E. coli broke out due to them putting it in plants. Remember, this is 1990. And these are the times when that E. coli breakout started really showing up. Right? So that was testing more than likely, but I'm not going to say that because I can't prove it yet. But it looks like it to me. It all lines up and it makes perfect sense. And remember, they were doing animal testing before, right? So you got a bunch of stuff breaking out because they were doing animal testing, and they were doing human testing, and they still are. E. coli and Vibrio cholerae that colonize the small intestine and produce one or more enterotoxin, right? Again, toxin in the body. An attempt was made toward the production of edible vaccine by expressing heat liable enterotoxin. And we dealt with that last week. Let me see. Besides antibodies against dental caries expressed in tobacco are already in preclinical trials. We dealt with that last week. HPV are the causative agents for cervical cancer and also involved in skin, head, and neck tumors. Cervical cancer is one of the main causes of cancer related deaths. Now, potato. This we didn't go at all. Okay? So potatoes, which I already told you we shouldn't be eating potatoes anyway at all. Period. They do not align with our physiology at all. Period. Right? And I'm going to tell you a secret. If you're wondering, should it go into my body? Ask this simple question. Is there a seed in it? If it doesn't have a seed, it should not be going inside of it. It should not be going into your body. Period. Genetically modified potatoes are also a viable option and seem to be the desired vector. Many of the first edible vaccines were synthesized in potato plants, right? The transgenic potatoes were developed and grown by Artson and Mason and their research group at the Boyce Thompson Institute for Plant Research, Cornell University. Previously, NIAID supported in vitro and preclinical studies by John Clements and colleagues at Tulane University School of Medicine, in which 14 volunteers ate bite-sized pieces of raw potato that had been genetically engineered to produce part of the toxin secreted by the E. coli causing diarrhea. Okay. The investigators periodically collected blood and stool samples from the volunteers to evaluate the vaccine's ability to stimulate both systemic and intestinal immune responses. 10 of the 11 volunteers, which was 91%, who ingested the transgenic potatoes had fourfold rise in serum antibodies at some point after immunization, and 6 of the 11, 55%, also showed fourfold mount in intestinal antibodies. The potatoes were well tolerated and no one experienced serious adverse side effects. Vaccine development has successfully tested a potato-based vaccine to combat the Norwalk virus, which is spread by contaminated food water. The virus caused severe abdominal pain and diarrhea, right? But we're always going to have a backlash with any type of immunization or anything that you're trying to do to genetically modify any food. Why? Because you're trying to break the laws of nature. And you can't break the laws of nature. So there has to be a side effect. There has to be, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It has to be, right? So because of that, this long term, people gonna start taking that first and have good results or some type of result. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a good result, whatever the result is. But then what's gonna happen is you're gonna see these other things showing up due to due to this medication. It's just no different than taking a medication, right? No different. No different. It's no different than taking any other type of medication. A research team led by William Landridge of the Loma Linda University in California has reported that transgenic potatoes engineered with a cholera antigen, CTB, can effectively immunize mice. Mice fed transgenic potatoes produce cholera-specific antibodies in their serum and intestine. IgA and IgG antibodies reached their highest levels after the fourth feeding. In yet another experiment, genetically engineered potatoes containing a hepatitis B vaccine have successfully boosted immunity in their first human trials. So now they've done human trials, right? And that's what we saw last week. So they went from animals, now they're testing these on humans. But how long have the tests gone? How long? Because see, you have to understand those effects, those side effects that the person is going to get is not at this initial situation or the initial eating. It's going to be later down the line, right? Now, attempts have been made to boil the potatoes, as raw potatoes are not very appetizing. But unfortunately, the cooking process breaks down about 50% of the proteins in the vaccine. Now, if you go back to my video where I'm dealing with oxalates, oxalates, goitrogenic compounds, and I'm dealing with carcinogens. I talk about cooking food. Notice that this breakdown is approximately the same as it states in that video, right? So it's going to break down. It's going to break it down. While some proteins are more tolerant to heat, for most proteins it will be necessary to amplify the amount of protein in engineered foods if they are to be cooked before consumption. Now, you notice they're talking about proteins all through this article, right? And I told you what? Proteins, the more milk, the more protein in a mother's milk of an animal, the quicker it dies. Protein is a killer. We need protein to a small degree, but too much protein will kill you. You understand what I'm saying? It's slow. It shortens life expectancy. All right, and they found this even in those that were weightlifting and all that. Same difference. Then they say what? It says, while some proteins are more tolerant to heat, for most proteins, it will be necessary to amplify the amount of protein in what? The engineered. So we know it's GMO. The engineered foods, if they are to be cooked before consumption. Tomato. Tomatoes are an excellent candidate, right? Now they say tomatoes, they're about to destroy these. Totally. Tomatoes are an excellent candidate because they are easy to manipulate genetically and new crops can be grown quickly. Moreover, they are palatable and can be eaten raw. While tomatoes do not grow well in regions in which the edible vaccines are most needed, the engineered tomatoes can be dried or made into paste to facilitate the delivery. So they're going to be putting it in tomato paste, dried tomatoes, all of that is going to be going, that's when it goes overseas. But here, where they grow naturally in the United States, then what's going to happen is they're going to be able to easily manipulate and put these chemicals in there, right? Or genetically modify them. The anti-malaria edible vaccine and different transgenic tomato plants expressing antigenic types have been proposed by Chowardy and Bosgra in 2007. They hypnotized hypothesized that immunizing individuals against 2 to 3 agents and against each stage of the life cycle of the multi-stage parasites would be efficient, right? So if they immunize individuals against 2 to 3 antigens and against each stage of life cycle of the multi-stage parasite, right? So they're going to give you an immunization for, against 2 and 3, and then against each stage of the life cycle of the multi-stage parasites. That would be an efficient, inexpensive, and safe way of vaccination. Tomatoes with varying sizes, shapes, and colors carrying different antigens will make the vaccines easily identifiable by lay individuals. Okay? Now, so in other words, they would say there would be different size and different shaped tomatoes based on the type of vaccine that you're taking. They just go all the way in. You can't have nothing just be natural. Nothing. It's just crazy. Tomatoes serve as an ideal candidate for HIV antigen because they, unlike other transgenic plants that carry the protein, are edible and immune to any thermal process, any heat, which help to retain their healing capabilities. Scientists have claimed that tomatoes could be used as a vaccine against Alzheimer's disease. The work is in progress to genetically modify the fruit to create an edible vaccine. But all you have to do, why do they have to modify that? All you have to do is blueberries. Blueberries, right? They cleanse the what? Glymph system. We went through the glymph system already. Go back and watch that video. The glymph system. Cleansing the glymph system is key, right? Removing starch. That's going to help cleanse the glymph system, right? Omega 3s, right? Brain health. But no, they want you to be able to do what? Whatever you want to do and get the results as if you did right. That's what they're trying to do. Now they can tell you can eat this fruit, right? Like you're eating healthy, but you're getting deaf through these vaccinations. This is crazy. This is about to be crazy right here. Scientists have claimed that tomatoes could be used as a vaccine against Alzheimer's disease. The work is in process to genetically modify the fruit to create an edible vaccine that fires up the immune system to tackle the disease by attacking the toxic beta amyloid protein that destroys vital connections between brain cells, causing Alzheimer's. Right? In other words, cleansing the lymph system, basically, is what they're saying. Researchers have engineered, and this is but see how they leave that word out? They should have genetically engineered. Have engineered tomato plants to express a gene for the glycoprotein, right, that coats the outer surface of the rabies virus, right? The recombinant constructs contain the G protein gene from era strain of rabies virus, including the signal peptide under the control of the 35S promoter of cauliflower mosaic virus. All right. Now, banana. They're about to attack the bananas. A common fruit, the banana is currently being considered as a potential vehicle for vaccines against serious as well as two common diseases. The and two TOO common diseases. Very common is what they mean. The advantage of bananas is that they can be eaten raw as compared to potatoes or rice that need to be cooked and can also be consumed in a pure form. Furthermore, children, here we go. Attack the children now, right? Boy, they can't stop. Children tend to like banana, and the plants grow well in the tropical areas in which the vaccines are needed the most. Hence, the research is leaning toward the use of banana as the vector, since a large number of third world countries who would benefit the most from edible vaccines have tropical climates. On the negative side, a new crop of banana plants takes about 12 months to bear fruit. After fruiting, the plants are cut down and a new crop of vaccine bearing plants must be planted. Researchers have also developed bananas that deliver a vaccine for HBV. The banana vaccine is expected to cost just 2 cents a dose, as compared to $125 for the currently available injectable vaccine. So now they're going to cut down the cost, right? But they're going to increase their profits because they ain't just going to sell it for no 2 cents. I can promise you that. Now, corn, right? Maize has also been used as a vector for various edible vaccines. Egyptian scientists have genetically engineered. Here we go again. Oh, they put genetically that time. There we go. Genetically engineered the maize plants to produce a protein known as HBsAg, which elicits an immune response against the hepatitis B virus and can be used as a vaccine. If human trials are successful, more than 2 billion people infected with hepatitis B and about 350 million of these at high risk of serious illness and death from liver damage and liver cancer would be benefited. Now, if that works, that I would say that would be a good thing, but it's going to be the other side of it. Have they changed their limit? Have they done this? Have they done that? Right? And but the other thing that's negative is, what is it going to cost? See, you got so much going on here. You're growing food in a quote unquote natural environment with bugs and everything eating these plants, right? So you don't know what is going to happen because nature is going to attack anything not natural. So when in this case, because this is unnatural, but now you're growing genetically modified food, there's going to be a chain reaction that's going to cause something to show up to destroy it. And then if this is in your body, something's going to show up to destroy it. So that's the danger. That's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't mess with these at all. But I'm just letting you know. Researchers are in offing at Iowa University with the aim to allow pigs and humans to get a flu vaccination simply by eating corn or corn products. It is quickly likely that corn vaccine would work in humans when they eat corn or even cornflakes or corn chips or tortillas or anything that contains corn. Man, I'm going to tell you this. Even if they say that it's not in the food already, I don't believe that. This is probably why the United States has the highest epidemic of health problems in the world. Right? This right here is deep. I'm telling you. Genetically modified maize or corn could provide protection to chickens against a highly contagious and fatal viral disease affecting most species of birds. Mexican researcher Octavio Guerrero Andrade and his colleagues at the Center for Research and Advanced Studies in Guanajuato, central Mexico, genetically modified maize to create an edible vaccine against Newcastle disease virus. Right? They inserted a gene from the NDV, a major killer of poultry in developing countries, into the maize DNA. So they inserted a gene from NDV, right? Which is a major killer of poultry. So they took something that's killing chickens and all different types of poultry and then put it into the corn, right? Man, this is crazy. Into the maize DNA, again genetically modified, and found antibodies against the virus in chickens that ate the genetically modified maize. One pig vaccine has also been produced in corn successfully. Now we know that pig is one of the worst things you can put into the body. Now, if they're saying pig, they might just be saying they were making a vaccine for pigs. But if not, if they're putting pig in the in it, but remember they say human and pig are close. That's why they're using that, I believe. So they're one pig vaccine has also been produced in corn successfully. I got to make sure that that's what they mean, though, on that one before I say that. Efforts are being made by U.S. company Prodigy to genetically modify maize to contain a key protein found on the surface of the monkey form of HIV. According to U.S. National Institute of Health, this development brings an edible, more effective HIV vaccine for people a step closer. Yeah, I'm clear. Nothing they do. Yes, correct. Nothing they do surprises me either. They are masters of mendacity. I'm telling you. And then the sad part is they use it like they're really trying to benefit, right? Like it's a mercy mission for the third world country. That's how they started off, as a mercy mission for the third world countries. Now we get down here, they bring us back into the United States, like I said. So yeah, make sure you watch all three parts because it's important. Because we're gonna keep going. I'm about to rock this. Transgenic maize expressing the rabies virus glycoprotein of the Vnukovo strain has also been produced using ubiquitin maize promoter fused to the whole coding region of the rabies virus G gene, right? A constructive promoter from KMV, maize embryogenic callus will transform with the above construct by biolistics. Regenerated maize plants were recovered and grown in a greenhouse. The amount of G protein detected in grains was approximately 1% of the total soluble plant protein. Then we got rice, right? Rice. Now, the reason I say rice is crazy, as you all know, I've already told you, you know we're not to eat rice. You know that. That's starch, and that's something that doesn't belong in our body. You all know that have been on my Patreon, or if you're in my health classes or whatever, right? Or if you're working with me. However, it's very dangerous because rice is a major staple all through the world. People eat rice everywhere. Like it is a major staple throughout the world. And so now they're going to come after the rice, right? Which is this is a killer right here. Rice is another potential crop which has been used for developing vaccines. It offers several advantages over traditional vaccines. Okay. It does not require refrigeration. In fact, the rice proved just as potent after 18 months of storage at room temperature, and the vaccine did not dissolve when exposed to stomach acids. In an attempt, predominant T cell is that epitome? Epitope peptides were derived from Japanese cedar pollen allergens, which were derived from Japanese cedar pollen allergens, were specifically expressed in rice seeds and delivered to the mucosal immune system. The development of an allergic immune response of the allergen specified Th2 cell was suppressed. Okay, so let's look at that again. In an attempt, predominant T cell epitope peptides, which were derived from Japanese cedar pollen allergens, were specifically expressed in rice seeds and delivered to the mucosal immune system. They delivered it directly to the immune system. The development of an allergic immune response of the allergen specific Th2 cell was suppressed. So the allergy was suppressed. That's what it's saying. Okay, cool. Furthermore, not only the specific IgE production and release of histamine from the mast cells were suppressed, but the inflammatory symptoms of polynosis. Now, what's so deep about this right here? Why is this so powerful? Because what are they suppressing? The healers. They're suppressing the healers. Watch. Furthermore, not only the specific IgE production and release of histamine from the mast cells was suppressed, not healed, not cured, but suppressed. And though, if you're suppressing something, what are the symptoms? The symptoms are the healers. But the inflammatory symptoms of polynosis, such as sneezing, which is getting it out of your system, was also suppressed. Now that's going to allow the allergy to do what? Or the allergens to do what? Run rampant. So these aren't healers, these are suppressors, which is very dangerous. These results suggest the feasibility of using an oral immune therapy agent derived from the transgenic plants that accumulate T cell epitope peptides of allergens for allergy treatment. Transfer of genetic material from the microbe responsible for producing cholera toxin into a rice plant has also been achieved. The plants produced the toxin, and when the rice grains were fed to mice, they provoked immunity from the diarrhea causing bacterium. Right? So, again, it suppressed diarrhea, which is what? A healer. Man. Spinach. Genetically modified spinach has also been considered for development of edible vaccine. Spinach is being investigated as a plant-derived edible vehicle for anthrax vaccine, as well as vehicle for HV1 tap protein, a prospective vaccine candidate. In an experiment, a fragment of protective antigen PA that represents most of the receptor binding domain was expressed as a translational fusion with a capsid protein on the outer surface of tobacco mosaic virus, and spinach was inoculated with the recombinant virus. The plant expressed PA is highly immunogenic in laboratory animals. So spinach as well, among which we know we're not to be eating that. They have high oxalates and cause what? Kidney stones. So you got to be very careful with those oxalated foods. But most people eat spinach, especially those coming into health. Among other food crops with potential to be developed as edible vaccine, look at this: sweet potato, glad we don't eat that. Peanuts, we don't eat those. Lettuce, we eat that. That's a natural food for us. Lettuce, watermelon, key, and carrots are on the top priority. Not low, top priority. The development of plant-based vaccines to protect against many other diseases such as HIV-1, hepatitis B, rabies, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma are going throughout the globe Hold on one second. I'm going to read that again. The development of plant based vaccines to protect against many other diseases such as HIV, hepatitis, rabies, and non Hodgkin's lymphoma are ongoing throughout the globe using one of these edible plants. So they're about to jump them off. They're jumped up. They might have jumped them off. Okay. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of various plant host systems. I'm going to go over that next week. This is enough for you. I mean, not next week, tomorrow. I'm sorry. We're going to go over that tomorrow. So I will see you all back here tomorrow. Do we have any questions on anything I went through so far? If not, I am going to close out. Any questions on anything before we close out? No questions? All right. Sarah Pumpkin, any questions? Giving a couple seconds because most people say I do it too fast, so I'm giving y'all a second to type it in, or if you got any, and then if not, we're gonna close out. I don't know who else is on here because my screen, of course, that is locked up, so I can't see if there's more people or not. All right, so if there's no questions, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll close out. I will see you all tomorrow. See you at the top of your health journey. Peace.